everybody, welcome back to Sonia's Book Talk from the Stickney-Forest View Public Library. Hi, thanks for joining me again. The theme for today is 1950s. So I have 3 books that take place in the 1950s. Actually, that whole baby boom era from World War II, end of World War II to 1964, all those years kind of have like the 1950s feel, but these books actually take place in the 50s. So it's one of my favorite time periods to read about. So if you like that time period, you might enjoy these books. We have a variety. We have a coming of age journey across the ocean. We have a feel-good saga of one man's charmed life. And we have historical fiction about 3 girls at the Barbizon Hotel. So I'm going to I'll start by publisher year. This one came out a few years ago, The Cat's Table by Michael Ondaatje. He wrote The English Patient, but this book is not similar to The English Patient that much, in case you have any opinions on The English Patient. He's a good writer. I really liked this book. It's an 11-year-old boy takes a journey. He's an unaccompanied minor, basically, on this ship that's sailing back to London, where his mom is waiting for him. He does have an aunt and a cousin, but they're in the higher class, so the aunt doesn't really associate with him, but sometimes his cousin, Emily, will kind of help him. So he meets 2 other boys, unaccompanied minors. You can imagine that they become fast friends. They explore, they spy, they look at girls, they meet all kinds of people on the ship. There's a prisoner on this ship that they're very fascinated with. There are no cats in this book. This is a phrase, I guess, that means, I learned this from this book, it means you're at the farthest table from the captain, like you're so far away from the captain, like you're past all the other tables, you're like the last, you're the poorest and the farthest away. So that's kind of him. He's kind of in this world of the ship where he's so far away from the upper class, he gets to sneak around and be under the radar and see all these things going on. So I really liked it. It was really fun. The cover has a lot left to be desired. It's not the best cover, so maybe you can find a book that has a better cover than this one, but they all have a ship on the cover, all the covers I've seen of this book. So I recommend this 1950s Journey Across the Ocean. So the next one I will do is this one, because this came out next a couple years ago. This one is Searching for Grace Kelly by Michael Callahan. It's his first novel as far as I could see looking him up. Not like a big book at all, but I really enjoyed it. Another of these under the radar books. So Grace Kelly lived in the Barbizon Hotel. She's not a character in this book, but it's 3 women who go to New York City, live in the Barbizon Hotel. The one main character, Laura, she's trying to be a writer, a journalist. The other ones, there's, aspiring models, aspiring actresses in this hotel in the 1950s. Laura catches the eye of the most eligible bachelor, NYC's most eligible bachelor. Also, she falls for this other guy. So there's romance, there's friendship, there's trouble, there's a troubled girl. It was really fun, I thought. Like I said, I love this time period. So if you like this time period, reading about girls in New York City, I did another book talk about books set in New York City. This could have fit into that one, but I put it here for the 1950s. So that one, check it out. We have it here. And finally, I have Mitch Albom's The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto. Doesn't that just sound like a 50s title? I love it. That's why I picked it up. Mitch Albom, you might recognize. He's famous for Tuesdays with Morrie. Famous book, kind of the one that got him you know, his fame and fortune and his great writing career. He puts out a book. He's put out a lot of books, so I read a couple. This one I enjoyed, and it doesn't just stay in the 50s. Frankie Presto was a guitar player, kind of like kind of rose to fame, fictional character, kind of like an Elvis Presley singer, guitar player, and his most popular years were the 1950s and 60s. So there's the bulk of this book that is in those years, but it actually starts when he was born, actually goes his whole life. All these things happen. I can't even explain all the things that happen, but if you've read Mitch Albom, you might be familiar with how he ties in a bunch of things at the end, really cool, in a really cool way, and brings it all together. So, I'll just say a few more things. It takes place, he was born in Spain, this character. He does come to America, you know, the whole rock and roll scene. Does that, meets a girl. There's one more thing I should mention. The narrator of this book is music. It's narrated by music. So that was fun. Tells the whole life of Frankie Presto, and then it's interspersed with chapters of actual real life figures, musicians, singers like Tony Bennett, Darlene Love. There's little spurts of them talking about Frankie Presto. So if that sounds fun, remember Frankie Presto is not real, fictional, but it's fun to imagine if he really was real. It almost makes you feel like it's his whole life, so it pulls you in and it makes you believe. So I think we're done for today. 1950s. Maybe I'll do another whole baby boom, books of the baby boom era, and we can get to post-World War II through 1964, because really all those years are really those really are all the 1950s feel, like I said. I'm rambling on, but join me for next time. I already have my next book talk planned, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the Stickney-Forest View Public Library's YouTube channel. Also, like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Stickney-Forest View Public Library District, where great things happen.